Hey there, I'm Sonia Pedowick. Welcome back to the Catalyst Podcast. Today I have Vicky Martinez from Sunset Montessori Community on the show, and I'm super excited to talk about women business ownership, the Montessori education, and all things Catalyst Mastermind. Hey, Vicky.
Hi, Sonia.
I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm very excited.
And I'm just learning that I'm popping your podcast cherry.
Yes, this is my first podcast ever.
I know, this is so exciting. So we are going to talk about a few things.
Okay.
Of course, being the Catalyst podcast, I want to talk about Mastermind and Catalyst, but I want to talk about business ownership, about your amazing business, how you came to be in it, run it, love it, hate it, because there was definitely a journey there.
100%.
100%. And then all things about running a business. I know you're a mom too, and just kind of like just your whole journey and maybe the journey we've been on together, because we have been on one for a long time. I've known you for a very long time.
A very long time.
Yeah.
Actually, I was Noah's.
Yes.
Your oldest,
My
handsome
19-year-old
son.
now. Yeah.
His first teacher.
Yes.
And we met at Montessori.
Yes.
And I know that you fell in love with Montessori.
Yeah. I did not know, along with not knowing how to be a mom, because I was learning how to do that, right?
And then you had two other kids.
Then I had two other kids.
So now you're a professional.
Yeah, I guess. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
A work in
A
progress.
pro.
So my husband had been in Montessori school, and then he went on to private school. I also had been raised in some private school, some public. And so he was really adamant that he wanted to raise our kids in some Montessori school. And so he had investigated, and we landed in your classroom when he was just 18 months old.
I know. I still remember how cute he was.
I know, his big old cheeks.
He was so smart too.
I know.
And I feel that Montessori was like the best environment for him.
Yeah.
Because he was very active and very curious.
Yes.
As kids tend to be.
Yes.
And Montessori totally takes advantage of that curiosity.
Yeah.
And the material that we have in Montessori works very hand in hand for their independence.
Yes.
Their critical thinking.
So what is, I guess, for those who don't know the difference between maybe just traditional education and Montessori, in a nutshell, what is Montessori?
Well, Montessori is a philosophy, but it's also a way of guiding children, because we don't call ourselves teachers, we call ourselves guides.
Mm-hmm.
We guide them through the learning experience.
Yeah.
And the best way you learn is when you actually are hands-on.
Yep.
When you get to experience something is when you learn the best. And Montessori material basically does that. It has different areas like language, math, cultural, science,
Social.
Yeah. We also have grace and courtesy, which is one of my favorite because it shows the rules, but in a way that the kids understand it.
Yeah.
Like, why do we push in a chair when we stand up? Because there's kids that do practical life that have to carry a tray with glass pitchers.
Right.
Because that is the activity, right? They have to pour.
Yeah.
And everything in Montessori has a direct purpose and an indirect purpose. So the direct purpose of the pitchers is pouring.
Yeah.
And the indirect purpose is hand-eye coordination and
So
sequences. But the kids start learning that they are part of a classroom.
Yeah.
So by pushing in their chair, they know that if someone is carrying the tray with the pitchers, they're out of their way.
Yes.
So it doesn't fall.
Yeah.
And
No
they see the direct consequence too, right? Because if it falls, it breaks, then we have to take that material off of the shelf.
Yeah.
Nobody can use it. So they learn how to be very careful with it. I love that we have plants in the classroom.
Yes.
The kids bring their plants, and then they have to take care of them.
Yeah.
So
like language and math that was like so fascinating to me, how they were able to like learn that so quickly as little kids. And it just felt like they were advanced. Like they would come home and line things up and do division. And
I love
like,
division.
You're like 3 and 4 years old. Like, how are you already like
I think
doing
it just makes sense because the way we teach, for example, the letter sounds.
Yes.
We have sandpaper.
Yeah.
Letters. So they're tactile.
Yeah.
to trace the letters, sounds, and then they say it.
Yep.
And then we play a game, and we have 3-letter sounds at a time. And that's how we present everything, 3 at a time.
Yeah.
Once they master that, then we move on to the next.
Yeah.
Once they master that, we move to the next. A traditional school will show like A for a whole month.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
If they're able to
Master it.
master 3-letter sounds in a week.
Right.
Or 2 weeks, whatever it takes to.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I love about Montessori, because it's so individual.
Yeah.
It is very much at their own pace.
Yeah. I
And
love that.
without the pressure of it.
Yes.
And without the comparison.
Right.
So we don't have grades really.
Right.
Or homework.
Right. I remember driving home early and, Noah was like, saw a stop sign and he was like, oh. I was like, what? Like the way he phonetically was like sounding out each letter and then strung the word together. And, being like 3 at the time, I thought like, what? Wait, how is
it's
this?
really
And
amazing.
so my kids have always been very, very avid readers. And I know that is definitely, because we had lots of books at home, but definitely from being not only just at the Montessori school, but the teachers at the Montessori school making it about us being in partnership with the education too, that you might not always find in a traditional school setting, right? So it was always, this is what your kid did today, and here's something you could take home, and here's how you can interact in the math, and and Ben is very much into that, and so he was always asking questions and bringing stuff home, and then
the chores too.
Yes.
Those were super important.
Right. And so like us being very much a part of the community, and the education piece of it was like really just great for us. And, my kids still to this day are avid readers.
But I also think they're great human beings.
Well, I do love them.
Because I believe that Montessori gives you that as well.
Yeah. For sure.
We believe, Sunset Montessori Community, academics is very important.
Yeah.
But Montessori, it just happens so organically that we really don't stress on it.
Right.
So at what age are they supposed to be writing or reading? It depends on each one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the most important thing for me is kindness.
Yeah.
It's one of our core values.
Right.
And I love when the older ones help the little ones, the ones that start reading, go and read a book to the younger ones. And I just love that relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really do feel that Montessori gives them that sense of community.
Yeah.
Kindness.
Yeah.
Kindness, which is something we need more.
Yeah. So it's a big leap to go from teaching to building that community. That was the vision for you. So what was the impetus or catalyst for you to be like, I would now want to be this business owner?
Actually, it just happened. I had the opportunity of taking over the school, and I had all these amazing ideas.
Yeah.
And I felt I wanted to change the world. And then when I got to that position, I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You factor in that now your teachers are your employees.
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing being a teacher.
Right.
And you deal with a classroom and classroom management and all the other amazing things teachers have to
navigate,
including
parents.
Parents are a very,
fun part of it.
Very fun part.
Yeah.
But then when you become a business owner, there's so many other things that come into play that you did not even realize that they were part of the equation.
Right, right.
And I think that for me at the beginning, I wanted to do everything so right that I failed. I failed in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then I was really hard on myself.
Yes, as most women and business owners are.
Yes, because I was like, why am I not? What am I missing?
Right.
I want to be a great business owner, but I also want to be a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do believe that the kids that leave Sunset, like I want them to have these values, right?
Yeah.
So how do I navigate that?
Yeah.
And then suddenly you had the fantastic idea of opening up a mastermind.
And you did come kind of kicking and screaming.
I kick and scream to everything you put me in.
Yes, this is true.
Yes, I do.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
You didn't want to do that either.
When we would wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym. That was crazy.
I do somehow rope you into a lot of crazy
I'm like,
things now that
Sonia
I think about it.
Pedowick gets me out of my comfort zone.
What does she have in store for
Ah,
me now? Yeah.
what adventure. I hate it, but I love
Everyone
it.
needs a Sonia, just like everyone needs a Vicky.
I've always said that. Everybody needs a Sonia Pedowick in their lives. For sure. Anyone that knows you agrees.
Yes. But when you came to the mastermind, you actually were kind of coming thinking you wanted to blow it all up.
I did. And that, because it was COVID.
Yes.
And I had to close my school.
Yes.
And at that moment, I saw everything
Yeah.
as, you know what? I'm
Forget
going to
it.
go back to Mexico.
Yeah.
I can be fine
Yeah.
in Mexico, navigate it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something different with
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
And I remember you told me, what is it that you want?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I want to travel. I want to have the opportunity of traveling.
Right.
And, being more, not working in the business all the time, and that I feel that I'm in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But more like working on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you can do that. I was like, how? You're like, well, just don't close it.
Yeah.
And you were very determined.
Yes.
Do not close that school. You have an amazing
Yes.
environment, community. You can't do that.
Well, I think at the time too, weren't many, there still are not many Montessori schools in our community. And I think I was very sad to think that would be the beginning of the end for that in Las Vegas, right? That COVID was already taking so much from our city. A lot of companies were shutting down.
So much.
And I was like, this can't happen. Like, this was such an important part of our family growing up. All three of our kids went through there. All three of our kids thrived through there. I don't want to see this go away.
Yeah.
So
I'm
selfishly.
I am very glad you did that, because I remember at Mastermind, we read the book, Start With Why.
Yes.
I love that book. And I didn't understand my why.
Yeah.
Like when we read it the first time,
Yeah.
I was so, why am I not?
Yeah.
Why isn't it
I
coming
don't know my why.
together?
Yeah.
What is my why? What is
Yeah.
my... And then I decided, well, you totally convinced me not to close the school and not to go back to Mexico and drink margaritas all day or something.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God. But I am very happy because I found my purpose.
Yeah.
And my purpose is having a space for kids that they feel safe, nurtured, loved, because we are a small community.
Yeah.
But we're very loving and caring, and we believe that kindness is very important, as 100%. I mentioned again. And it just helped me focus on what was important for me.
Yeah.
And also business-wise, I think I compared myself to other Montessori schools, to other private schools, to other private preschools. And I think COVID gave me the opportunity to redefine whatever I wanted.
Right.
My vision.
Yes.
And I have the liberty of being a business owner that I can navigate it however I want.
Right.
And you came in with my teachers, and all of us together came up with our core values.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a very important part of the piece. Because if they don't believe in my vision, and if they don't know what I'm doing, how can they support me? Right. Yeah. And I love that we all came to these common words.
Right.
That also you hooked me up with Pretty Done.
Yes.
That now he squiggled outside of my building all my core values.
I love that.
So I don't have to remind anyone of the core values. We have them every single day that we walk into that.
Yeah. When you drive by their school, it's just like graffitied all over the school in a very beautiful, artistic way, which is amazing.
And I love that it's out of the box.
Yeah.
Because Montessori is out of the box.
Yeah.
Like the way they have to figure out their situations.
Yeah.
Day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to resolve it, figure it out. We're just there to support, give them tools, positive, reinforcing.
Yeah.
And I also get to take my dog to school.
Oh, yes. That is pretty cool.
I love.
That is pretty cool.
And
and so since the rebirth, what have been some of the aha moments or challenges, or would you say maybe even biggest successes that you think as a business owner you've achieved?
I think that one is finding my purpose, that I'm purposeful, and that what I do has a purpose.
Yeah.
That is the hugest aha that I've taken away from it.
Nice.
Two, that I am able to do exactly what I wanted to do
Yeah.
and work on the business, not
Yep.
in the business.
100%.
And I did not see this like something that would actually happen
Right.
when I was in that mindset.
Right. You didn't believe me.
I believed you from far away. I always believe in you.
Thank you.
But I was like, how is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Because I was so attached to being there all the time and
Yeah.
micromanaging and so obsessive with like everything to be perfect.
Right.
And then I realized nothing is perfect,
Yeah.
you know? And like how we always say in Catalyst, there is no there.
Right. My favorite speaker. Yeah. Todd.
So I was like, wow, I can take time off.
Yeah.
I was able to reinvent the way the school works.
Yeah.
Give the teachers way more liberty.
Yeah. 100%.
More involvement with the parents.
Yep.
Which I think is really important.
It makes it more of a community.
After COVID, I think playtime is super essential.
Yeah.
So we give them a lot of playtime.
Yeah.
Because that's where socially they learn how to.
Yeah. Solve problems, interact, communicate, grow, all of those things.
Yes.
So one of the things that we do in Mastermind is opportunity exploration. Some call it in some other groups like issue processing, but you've taken advantage of that process by bringing some, and you don't have to talk about the specific issues, but how has that process specifically helped you?
I love that process. But like everything, right? When you get out of your comfort zone, it's always hard. And being in the mastermind, I love that everybody always is very supportive. So I am able to go in without feeling judged.
Yeah.
Because everyone is in the same position at one time or another in their lives.
Yeah.
So I think that I was struggling with my marketing strategy.
Right.
I didn't know how to land it correctly and how that would make how to connect with with the students I wanted, with the parents I wanted to bring.
Right.
How?
Yeah, how to attract them.
How to attract that. And I remember we went through an opportunity with that.
Do you want to tell people like what is the opportunity exploration process?
Yes. Well, the opportunity, we write it at the beginning.
Oh, on the board.
On the board. So we come in and we say good morning. And then there is like this whiteboard with our names. We just have to put our name. And then it's like a recap of how our month was.
Yes.
And we talk about health, personal, business.
Yeah.
And then if there's an opportunity.
Right.
Then we
sometimes check the box.
Check the box. Sometimes we don't want to check the box, but you know that there's something that has to
be checked.
Be a catalyst in that situation, and then you check it for us.
Yes.
And the way it works is that I will present my opportunity.
Yeah.
And the class will ask me questions.
Yeah. So in this instance, you were bringing forth this particular one was like, how do I attract the type of people and the marketing? And so you laid it out like, this is my opportunity. And then the room asks you questions.
And then the room asks me questions.
Right. Open-ended questions.
Open-ended questions.
They can't lead you to your own answer.
I always do that. I have the hardest time. And then after that, they give us feedback.
Right.
But I cannot answer.
Right.
I have to be very quiet. I have to take it all in. And usually you very quickly take notes in your laptop. So you always tell us, like, don't worry. You don't have to write anything down. Just listen.
Yeah. Take it in.
Take it in. And sometimes it's a little bit challenging because you hear things that you don't want to hear or that you did not even think about.
Right.
Which is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Because you were not aware of it.
Yeah.
And I think that when you are in a space with business owners that have maybe had similar situations, they can bring forward their experience.
Yep.
And that is the most helpful thing ever.
Yeah. What I love is through like the question and answer part, like because of the way that we ask the questions is very open-ended. Like, what have you done? Why is this important? What are you thinking? What would result if you did this? Like very open-ended questions, like they're listening for different things, which helps them provide their feedback. It's like, well, in the questioning, Vicky, you said this was important. You said this would be the outcome. And based on what you said, this is my feedback.
Yes.
And so because of the way the questioning is done, I think it's really interesting because I think you're like almost forced to kind of answer at an unconscious level. And you're very open and raw and like, okay, now that you asked me that way, this is like my
Yes.
real vulnerable self answering. And then that allows people to then hear it differently and then have their natural raw response. It's
Yeah,
like,
like at the end, no? What did you hear?
yeah. And then that's the questions that ask is, hey, Vicky, what did you hear? And what are you going to do?
And what are you going to do?
Right.
How are you going to put it in action?
Yeah. And that's
And
the
I think
accountability piece.
That piece, I think, is the most important takeaway
Yeah.
from that exercise.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a room that you are vulnerable,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also, they're there to help you.
Yeah.
And then you're accountable.
Yes.
People that keep you accountable.
Yeah.
That is where I think that it works very well.
100%.
Because the next meeting, what did you do?
Yeah. Did you put the marketing plan into place?
What did you do different?
Yeah.
Of like all the strategies we recommended?
Yeah.
What worked?
Right.
Did you try? Did
Yeah.
you not?
Yeah.
So that element of accountability is really important.
Yeah. No, I love that part of it for sure. It definitely helps. That's where I think in my journey, I had the most growth because I went to a mastermind not having owned a business. I was trying to buy a business and they allowed me to be a part of their group. And then it was like, here's my factoring agreement. Here's my MSAs. Here's my this. Here's that. Okay, now what are you going to do? Go get this. Go. And then every month I would have to come back. And I said I needed 9 months to buy my business. And so I had a lot of homework and a lot of things to get in action to either do one of two things, start my own company or buy the business I was in. And so I had 9 months paying a very high membership to be at a table I didn't necessarily belong at because I wasn't a business owner at the time. And it was like, holy cow, I better get my act together because I said I would do this. And I took up an hour of this room's time processing my opportunity. Now I better get to work, right? Because they're like, well, because you said you want this, Sonia, what are you willing to do? Are you going to do this? Are you going to meet with this banker? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you going to create a logo? Now let's see your logo. Let's critique the heck out of your logo. Are you going to do this? Did you register that? I was like, oh my gosh. And I got so much done in that 9 months that by the time the end of 9 months, I was ready to buy the business.
And you were confident about it too.
Yeah.
Because you already navigated it.
Yeah. That was super, super, super powerful.
The other thing I have taken away from Mastermind is the tools. We do the Colby.
Yeah.
And I think that has been one of my favorite tools to have.
Yeah.
I have learned that I'm a quick start.
Yeah.
I'm very impulsive in how I make decisions.
Love risk. Yeah.
But then I work with someone that is the opposite.
Right.
And that balances us out so well.
Yeah.
Because Tasha will be like, wait.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
How are you paying for this?
What do I need to do?
Let's land
licensing, agreements,
paperwork. I don't like the paperwork part about it, but the Colby also taught me that I have my power hours where I am the most efficient.
Yeah.
So I really take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are tools that I took away that I still use.
Nice.
And I think that my teachers did the Colby as well, and some students.
Yes.
And that was a great tool for us, not only having Montessori, and because we kind of know where they're going.
Right.
But with the Colby also, it was a tool for us to understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When you learn what someone needs to take action and what someone needs to be able to feel like they're in their lane, it's just so empowering, right? And when they're working against their grain and they're experiencing stress and anxiety or whatever it is, it's like, wait a minute. What do you need to do that? You need more information. You need to slow down. You need to get your hands on it, whatever it is. You need this to not feel so risky. Okay, I can make that happen for you. And then you can adjust as a person or not.
Well, as a mom too.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Galia
Yeah.
Kalia did the Colby, and she's
a
sitting
little-
right there.
Yeah, she's off camera.
Oh, and then
Yes. Yeah, and learning how to navigate with your kids, right? Because I have 3 who have very different Colbys.
I just have one.
3 totally different Colbys.
But we're very similar.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I learned how she thinks, that is very similar to how I think.
Right.
We compete on everything.
Yeah.
Who gets downstairs first?
Yeah.
And ready to go out. And
Yeah. Very interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
So all those tools that you take away from being in a room
Right.
with like-minded
Yeah.
people, you get to grow so much.
Yeah.
And I think that has helped me take the business to another level.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because I really do think that I am different than any other school.
Yeah. 100%.
I do believe so much that I have a great environment. And I love when parents walk into the school and say, like, feel so homey in here.
Yeah.
Like, that is the best
I love
compliment that I can ever receive.
Yes.
Or that their kids are so happy.
Yeah.
And when they leave the school,
they
still come back.
Yeah.
I have teenagers that come back and want to help me during summer.
No, I love that. I think that's so great. So how does it feel to be a woman business owner or a mother business owner? Like, does that play into anything like your style or like how you rule the world?
Well, it was very overwhelming at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because as you know, I was doing it all by myself.
Right. Yeah.
And I took very seriously that you need a tribe.
Yeah.
To raise a kid.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky to find that support.
Yep.
So I believe that if I didn't have that support, I would go bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
I love how you always say bananas.
But it's true.
It is very true.
Because school,
yeah,
right? And then she was coming to Sunset,
right?
But then it got to a point that obviously she was not.
Yeah,
she outgrew us.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And I think that moving her to another school, having the great foundation of Montessori,
right,
helped a lot.
So much. Yeah.
But definitely, it's challenging.
Yeah. To get to and from school and run school and do all the things.
All the things.
Sport. She's
extracurricular activities. And how are you present?
Yeah, for those things.
But having a power hour.
Yeah.
That I know that I'm very efficient during those hours helps me so much.
Yeah.
And I always tackle the things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
First.
Yes.
The ones that I'm like, dreading.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I do first.
Yeah.
And before I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I used to procrastinate.
Yeah, push those off.
And leave it all the way to the end. Avoid. Yes, and being a mastermind, I learned not to avoid.
Yeah.
What is what you always say? I always have my sayings in Spanish.
I know.
But look at the choca te checa. What persists?
No, that what you resist persists.
That
choca te checa.
Look at the choca te checa.
I have to remember all her Spanish sayings. Yeah.
Wait, do you remember the other one?
I can't say the ante ojos one though.
Ojo de loca no se equivoca.
Yeah, I got to remember that one.
Do you know that one?
I tried to tell you my friend Yesenia that one and she died laughing. She thought it was so fun.
It's the best one. There's so many.
There's so many. But it is true. Like, I think that's like the power of the mastermind is those little nuggets. Like every meeting, there's at least one thing that you can take back to your business. And whether it's the book club, the speakers.
Bueno, let me tell you that the book club, indirectly, you have helped my brother out.
Oh, I love it. You know, you're always telling me about what the books Arturo was reading.
Yes.
Has he found his who for everything now? We read your who, not how.
Yes.
Yes.
So every single book that we read in Mastermind, I send it to him. And I love how he communicates it with everyone.
Nice.
Because he has businesses too in Mexico.
Yeah.
But for him, it's been he loved Find Your Who. Because I feel that he was taking on so much.
Right. And you can't do that.
But I think as a business owner, at the beginning, you want to do everything.
100%.
And you just take on everything.
Yeah.
And saying no.
Yeah.
Is really hard.
Yes. You want to be chief. I don't know if this is saying for this in Spanish, but you want to be the chief cook and bottle washer.
See, I don't know that one.
No.
I'll think about it. On my drive home, I'll be like, oh, this one.
I feel texting. Yes. It's like the saying in a kitchen or a restaurant, you want to be the chief cook and bottle washer.
See,
Like, you
everything.
can't be the chief, the cook, and the bottle washer and run a successful restaurant. That's just not possible.
No. And that's why that book,
I think it's the chef, cook, and bottle washer.
Find Your Who,
Yeah.
then you understand that you cannot do everything.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you suck. O sea, you will be
Well,
not
it's not
efficient.
only that, but is it like makes sense if you're like on the trajectory to be a $250 an hour person or a $100 an hour person or $500 an hour person and you're doing the $20 an hour task, like why does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
If time and money is your problem, then you don't really have a problem, right? So it's just thinking about where can I grow my business and scale in a way that makes sense that I'm doing the right things in my business to move my business forward, and I could employ somebody else and they have those skills to actually be that who.
Yes.
And how they do the job is in line with Colby. How they do the job doesn't matter as long as it's getting done efficiently and effectively, and I'm not doing it. Because how I'm doing it it's not getting done.
Exactly. So every time I see an Excel spreadsheet, I suffer.
Yes. No, it's
not my favorite.
painful.
But
No.
I had to navigate it,
Yeah.
right? I had to learn
Yeah.
how to even QuickBooks.
Yep. No, it's definitely, I recently had a transition. My admin took another role and found a better opportunity for herself. And so I'm doing her job, which is great. And it will give me the opportunity to find someone new. But being in her seat is good time to evaluate
100%.
the roles and tasks that she was doing. Were they being done effectively? Could I do them differently? Could I automate? Could I find a new system, tool, application to do it? And just as a business owner, as much as turnover stinks sometimes, or, and everyone can go and better themselves in any situation. Nobody has to stay at my company. I want people to better themselves.
I think you've always been a cheerleader
always
for
go and do that.
anyone that has
Right.
ever navigated into your life, that
100%.
if they can, you always want them to be
100%.
better. I remember when I met you, you were like, why? I see you over here and you're here. And I will never forget that because it hurt my ego so much in a way. But then I was like, what is she seeing that I am not seeing?
Well, that's abuse. Someone said that to me. Like, I see you bigger than you see yourself.
And that really resonated with me a lot. And
love
so
that.
everything that you push me into and here, let's do this, let's do that, I'll be like, yes, 100%.
Yes. Well, I love that. That's good. But having the opportunity I think business owners miss is when a position is open that they don't take the time to do that job, even for just a day or a week, is a missed opportunity, because I'm uncovering things like, hey, not that that's bad or the person who left was bad, just like, oh, this could be done differently. Oh, we should be like stepping up a way, or
I could be more efficient.
It could be more efficient, or this is perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
the way it's being done is great. And that person before perfected this. I'm so grateful for how they did it. This is amazing. I'm going to continue status quo in this, but this could have been done differently. Or I can take their job and outsource a part of it and then make this job more efficient for one person, downgrade the pay, change it in a way, whatever. I think that's an opportunity business owners miss, is when a position's open to like step into that seat for just a week, just to have eyes on, like, let me walk in that shoe.
I think
for a
that's
minute.
super important.
Yeah. So that's been my journey for the
Because
last 2
also you
weeks.
cannot expect something
Yes. If
when you
haven't-
have no idea
Yeah, exactly.
what you're asking.
100%.
But if you get to do
Yeah.
that position for a week or 2 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
then you understand.
Yeah.
And you understand what you're asking to.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
capabilities of that
Yep.
position.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. So now that you've kept the business and you get to travel, you found like the balance, you have the village to support you.
But I feel that it's always a transition.
Well, it's always evolving,
We're always in transition,
Yeah.
I feel.
growing.
Growing.
If you're not
growing.
growing, you're dying, and
You're
nobody wants to do
dying.
that right now.
Nope. I don't want to do that at all.
No.
But I feel that the business, there's sometimes that businesses, it's just
Yeah.
like waves,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I 100% think that when I'm down, because something happens and it rattles me,
Yeah.
but having a good foundation, as
Yeah.
in with these tools of
Yeah.
mastermind, I can go back to abundance.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to go back to, and we talk about it a lot,
Yes.
right? Personal.
Yeah. What's wrong about me? Scarcity. Freaking out.
And then you move to abundance,
Yes.
right? I had a really hard time when my mom passed away.
Oh,
We all
yeah.
know that.
Oh, I
And
was gonna
And
See if you're going to bring that up.
I am very good now. I feel, yes.
Yeah.
I feel I'm in a way better place.
Oh, yeah.
Because grief is very interesting how
comes in waves.
How it comes in waves.
Yeah.
But I know that she was my cheerleader.
Yeah.
And she was always like, I'm so proud of you, and you can do whatever you want when you set your mind to it. And we had this mindset since we were little.
Yeah.
Like, we never got to know.
Yeah.
It's like, how are we going to do that?
Right.
Do you want this? How?
Right. Figure it out.
And we did tutoring since we were little, like 15.
Yeah.
So earning your own money and tutoring was pretty good money in Mexico.
Yeah.
So my mom and my grandma were always my dad. You know, they were always like, anything. So the ceiling, there was no ceiling.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
So we set our own limits sometimes. And then 100%. I realized going through my mom's passing and the grief that I was setting myself up to being in a box in a way, right?
Right.
This is the ceiling.
Yeah.
I want to hit here.
Right. That was your there.
That was my there. But then I was like, oh, maybe I want something more.
Yeah.
And I love that I am in that moment of deserving.
Right. Yeah.
I feel that that's my word for the year.
Ooh.
Because I feel that sometimes we don't feel that we deserve.
Yeah.
And that's why we set our
limits,
our ceilings.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very true.
But if we work on deserving, and it's not selfish at all.
Yeah.
Then I think that we have a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
And we can go into abundance way easier than scarcity.
No, I love
when
that.
Something shatters, you know, like, or, rattles you.
Yeah. So what's on the hook for 2025 for you? What's coming? Like anything exciting or?
Super exciting year. It started out so exciting.
Hey, like big plans or just growth? I know you're going to have awesome summer camps again.
I'm going to have awesome summer camps again. Yeah. We want to open that room.
Yes.
That's on our bucket list.
Yes.
So the idea is a working space for moms.
Yes.
That they can enroll the kids in the school.
Right.
3, 4, 5 days.
Yes.
And we have a working space for them that they can do Zoom calls instead of going to a Starbucks or, that they can do their Zoom calls, grab coffee. We'll have coffee there, a printer, Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, I love it.
All the things that they need, and especially the moms that are not ready to detach.
Totally. But they won't be in the school.
They won't be in the school.
It's a separate room.
It is a separate room.
Right.
But they will be definitely there.
Yeah. Because I talk to a lot of moms, and this is why you and I have been kicking around this idea for a while, because it's like if you got to go and drop your kid off and then go somewhere, you've already burned that time getting somewhere. And then
you have to pick them up.
Then you got to pick them up. And if you get to a Starbucks and there's no table or whatever, so what if you could drop them off, walk outside, it's like 20 yards.
Go into the room.
It's like right there. I think it's a brilliant idea for just like the part-time daycare situation, especially those moms that want to get out the house and want to start to socialize their kids and get a taste of daycare or a taste of Montessori, that they can have this experience. I think it's brilliant.
I think so too.
I know.
So that is what we're doing for 2025.
I love that.
That is exactly what we have to do.
So what advice do you have for business owners out there as it relates to this year or mastermind? What do you?
I think every business owner should be part of a mastermind.
Yeah.
100%.
Why?
Because nobody will understand you better than people that have been in your situation.
Yeah.
Or you can help so much.
Yeah.
Because I think that I always look for loopholes in my life. I do.
Yeah.
And I think that if I would have done this by myself, I would have been
in Mexico.
Probably.
You would have left me.
I would have left you.
Yeah.
Not physically, but my heart would have always been with you. But I think that would have been so behind.
Yeah, yeah.
And this just helped me.
Still asking why.
Yes. Yeah. What is my why? What is my purpose in life? Am I happy with what I'm doing? Because that is another part, an element about being a business owner.
Yes.
I'm not a business owner to be rich, to be honest.
Right.
Having a Montessori.
Right.
I do believe that I can create
Right.
and have a space that is amazing
Right.
for human beings
Yeah.
that leave my school
Yes.
that will accomplish amazing things
Yeah.
and will be amazing human beings.
Yeah.
And that is my piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. And Catalyst really, like when I think about my why for Catalyst, it's to help business owners create liberty and legacy in their business. And that's exactly what, I want liberty and I want to create a legacy community. That's kind of what you.
And I just think I have it so easy, to be honest.
For sure.
Because it's kids are amazing and they're fun to be with.
Yeah.
So I get to have a great job.
Yeah.
And a great business.
I love it. So before we go, do you think Galia will join us for a few?
Yeah.
This is Galia. What do you think about your mom being a business owner? Why is it so cool?
Because I get to go to the school and help out and play around with the kids.
Yeah.
And do the cool jobs that she has.
Did you love growing up in a Montessori school?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like best about it?
How they taught us how to push in our chair, teach us how to count or how to spell words.
Yeah. You're pretty good at school too, yeah?
Yeah.
And I hear you're doing cheerleading?
Yeah.
But I heard you were doing flag football too.
Oh, I finished that last year.
Are you going to do it again?
I think so.
That's good. I love that. And are you a big reader like my kids are? Oh, and hula. That's right. You're a big hula dancer.
Yeah.
What do you think you want to be when you grow up?
Either a teacher.
Yeah, or
I don't know what the other one is.
That's all right. A teacher is amazing. We need amazing teachers in the world. If you could ask your mom any question about being a business owner, what would you ask her?
I don't know.
No? You get to interview her and ask any question at all. What would you ask her?
Trying to think.
Would you ever want to take over the business and run the school?
Yeah.
Yeah? That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Would you do her job? Would you do Tasha's job? Would you be a teacher in the classroom? Which job would you want to do?
I'll be a teacher in the classroom.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any parting words for us?
Any what?
Any last words? Words of wisdom?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That's so awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
I love my first podcast.
I know. What do you think about popping your podcast cherry?
I love it.
I know. It's pretty cool. Just talk about who you are and your business.
It's very comfortable. I thought I was going to be a little more nervous about it.
No, you did really good. It's just talking with a best friend.
My bestie.
Like how I got that in there too, right?
Right.
Well, you'll have to come back again and we'll find some other fun topics to talk about. But
I can talk about a lot of things.
I know. There's so much we can talk about.
So much.
Our future trip to Mexico City.
Oh, yes.
I know. So many things.
So many things.
Well, I'm really grateful for you. How can people find your Montessori school?
Sunset Montessori Community.
That's Sunset Montessori Community online.
That's it.
On Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Everywhere.
I love it. So make sure to follow you on Instagram, Facebook, all the places, Sunset Montessori Community.
All the places.
If you like what you saw today on the Catalyst podcast, make sure you subscribe to our show, like it, and share it with someone who you think might also find value.